This is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and today I am using this sketch, and it's from the scrap room. And unfortunately, it was, I believe, from last month. I think I'm going to show you right here. Yeah, from the May challenge. So I'm really behind on posting this video, so I apologize for that. But it's still a very fabulous sketch, and I am so excited about the way that it turned out. I am using this Gypsy Rose paper collection from PhotoPlay, and I got this at Hobby Lobby for $2.50 when it was on clearance. I don't think that I would have purchased it otherwise. It's not really my colors or schemes, but I love the way that this layout came out, and it was kind of a perfect way to kind of set this photos up. It was perfect for these particular photos, so I'm glad that I did pick it up. I am scrapbooking these photos of my friend again. This is her daughter's birthday, but I wanted to showcase more of a family layout as opposed to a birthday layout, because she had tons of photos taken that day, obviously, because it was a birthday, and that's usually what we do, right? But there were lots of photos of all of the family members, so I thought it was great to kind of put those on this layout and do a family layout. I really like this blue paper. I think that it contrasts really well against that dark burgundy color, as well as the gold in the polka dots, and then the flower or the butterflies have a few of that blue in it as well. So I really like that kind of brings that out. So I'm just trimming it down to the size I want, and then I realized that I didn't really need all of this paper, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it quite small, actually, because it's just going to go behind the photo. And so use always that trick that to span your paper and save some for another layout. So what I decided to do was take this sketch, and it had a little piece that was on the edge of the right side of the photo, or I'm sorry, the right side of the sketch. And I just decided to span that across to the 2-page layout. And I just used a little piece on the left-hand side, and then used a larger piece on the right-hand side. So it really brings it together. And here I'm trying to decide what I'm going to use, and how I'm going to use, what size I'm going to make it on the left-hand side, because I definitely wanted to leave enough room to put at least one tag. I didn't think that I'd be able to get 2 tags on there. So this is where I am going to trim down all of the other photos. There's lots of dead space in these photos. I took these photos straight from Facebook, from her Facebook account, and I just printed them all in 4x6, just simply because there were so many of them. And I knew that somebody that wasn't a scrapbooker didn't necessarily follow kind of all the rules that I follow. Not that there's anything wrong with these pictures. These pictures are beautiful, but I tend to zoom in a lot further and not have as much dead space. So I knew that I would be able to cut these photos down because of that dead space. So I just didn't worry about, making them 3x4 or 2x3 or anything like that. I knew that I could make them work. And I really like the way that this little collage came out. Because of all that dead space, I was able to get 4 photos in a square shape there. And I guess it's more of a rectangle shape, but kind of make them as a collage photo. So now that I've done that, that kind of helps me decide where I want to put the paper that's underneath it. And so I'm going to get out my Tim Holtz Distress ink and trying to find the right blue that I need. And so I'm going to go ahead and use that one. I'm sorry, I didn't show you guys what color it was. So I don't have that, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. So here's where I'm going to lay everything down and get everything lined up. And I lined up this paper on the left-hand side to the top of the paper there, like it calls for in the sketch. But I didn't do that on the right-hand side, and I didn't realize that until after I was actually taking photos of this layout. So, but it all ends up looking really good. I really like the way that it turned out. So I don't think that it really matters that it doesn't line up at the top. See right here, I put it down just a little bit as opposed to all the way at the top. And what I decided to do was go ahead and just trim it out, the amount that I thought that I would need, and I laid it down. Unfortunately, I cut them both the same size, and then once I get this butterfly piece down, that's when I realized that that polka dotted piece should have been a little bit smaller. So when I go to lay down that piece, I'm like, oh, yeah, I probably need to trim that up a little bit. So I go ahead and just cut off a little piece of that so that you can still see the butterflies, and it just butts right up to the end of the left side of the layout. So I wanted to give you guys just a little bit of an update in regards to what's going on. I am currently moving. So right now everything is packed. The movers are coming in just a few days, and we are going to be in a new place. And so I have lots and lots of things coming up in regards to what's going on in my life. So I will give you guys a full update on that later. But I just wanted to give you that small update right now. I do have a few videos recorded already, so I can bring you a couple of videos while I get in this transition of unpacking and my scrapbook room and getting everything set up. So don't fear, I will still have some videos posted, but it won't be as many as I normally do, just because I'm not creating as much as I was before. And so it's been probably about 2 weeks now that since my scrap room has been packed up, and I did just a massive overhaul trying to get as many layouts as I could done before I started packing up so that I could get these videos up for you guys, because I wanted to still provide you with some inspiration while this was all going on. And I definitely have my priority straight, because my first room that will be unpacked will be my scrapbook room. Of course, after like the essentials, like my clothes, and I think that's really it, because I plan on using, paper plates and things like that until I can get everything unpacked that I need to get unpacked. I'm not really worried about getting everything else unpacked. My main focus is getting my scrap room unpacked, because I have a lot of stress going on right now, and that is my stress reliever. And so I really want to get that done so that not only I can provide you guys videos, but I can also relieve some stress and with my creating, because that's what I really enjoy doing. Back to the layout, I have used some foam thickers to spell out the word love in that blue, and I think that is so pretty. It really brings out the blue behind the photos. And then I used some purple basic gray, just flat stickers to spell out the word family. And then this little white heart is from Ellie Studios. They're one of their acrylic pieces, so I just used some liquid glue on that in my fine line bottle to stick down that acrylic heart. And I also stuck down that cluster of flowers underneath the right hand side of the photo. I pulled out my Ellie Studio die for a tag, and I purchased this in one of their like clearance sales, and I think that it's a perfect little die for tabs. And so it is very different than the tab that's on there, but that's what the beauty of sketches is, you can make it whatever you want. So I pull out this stripe paper from this collection as well, and use the die to cut out a small little tag there. And then I'm going to add that. I didn't have enough room to add 2 tags like it does in the sketch, but I'm okay with that. I think that it turns out really well. And I do end up struggling with this a little bit. Ended up having to get out my tweezers to make sure that it was straight. So now I'm just looking for something else to add. I did pull out my embellishment book and go through that, and I was able to pull out some of embellishments. This was actually a rosette that I got from the Echo Park warehouse box sale, and what I ended up doing was, oh no, this one came just like this. It was actually had the black and the gold and then some flowers on it. But I do tend to cover those pieces up a lot if they don't work for me. So I added a couple of pink puffy hearts, and I'm going to add a little enamel dot in the center of that rosette just to give it a little bit more dimension. I'm going to add this gold heart to that tag right there, and then add this little banner. It is a chipboard piece, so I do have to add some liquid glue behind it. And a couple more puffy hearts on the right-hand side to kind of tie both of those together. And I really don't have a visual triangle. I mean, kind of, with that little heart embellishment up there. And I tried to add a few more pieces to it, but I just didn't like the way that it looked. So I ended up just adding one little strip piece there that's tucked in a lot. You can just barely see it on the when it's finished. And then I add that heart back in. And of course I have to add liquid glue because it's a chipboard piece, and I didn't think about that before I added it down. So take it all back up and re-add it. And then I just added some liquid glue to the back of this just because I had pulled it off like several times and added it back on. And then I'm looking through my enamel dots to see if there are any other things that I can add. And I found these enamel hearts that are actually white, glittery white, and I really like that glitter that brings out in this layout. And that is it for this 2-page layout. Unfortunately, I don't have close-ups. I do have my final layout for you guys. I had taken this picture for to post in the scrap room and didn't get around to it, but then I've already packed up the layout, so I couldn't take close-ups for it. But I hope that you guys are having a scrappy day, and I will catch you soon. Thanks for watching.